If I gave you a choice between $1 million today or a single penny that doubles in value every day for a month, which one would you choose? Most people grab the million. They want the safety of the cash. They want the now. But the wealthy, they see the invisible math that leads to over $5 million by day 30. This is the fundamental gap between the rich and everyone else. It is not about the money in your pocket. It is about the software running in your head. Society has told you a lie. It taught you that wealth comes from working the hardest, getting the most degrees, and saving every cent in a coffee jar. But if hard work was the only secret, then the people working 3 manual labor jobs would be the billionaires. The truth is much more provocative. There is a specific way of thinking that the top 1% uses to build empires while everyone else is just trying to pay for Friday night. Today, we are going to uninstall the old, ordinary mindset and download a completely different system. We are going to look at the habits, the brutal truths, and the specific strategies used by legends like Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, and Jack Ma. You will realize that your bank balance is simply a reflection of your thoughts. If you want to change your life, you have to change your mind. The first thing we have to realize is that ordinary people trade their time for money. This is what we are taught in school. You go to work for 8 hours, and you get a check for 8 hours. This feels safe, but it is a trap. Your time is a finite resource. You only have 24 hours in a day, and you cannot work forever. Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time, famously said that if you do not find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Rich people do not focus on their hourly wage. They do not care about a fair salary. They focus on building or buying assets. An asset is something that works for you when you are sleeping, eating, or traveling. Poor and ordinary people often confuse assets with liabilities. They buy a big house with a huge mortgage, a flashy car that loses value every day, and expensive clothes to look successful. They think these things make them rich. But in reality, these things are taking money out of their pockets every month. The wealthy mindset is different. They live below their means for years so they can put every extra dollar into things that grow, like stocks, real estate, or businesses. They understand that the goal is not to look rich. The goal is to be wealthy. While the ordinary person is working for money, the rich person is focused on making money their slave. There is a powerful lesson from Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba. He said that if you put bananas and money in front of monkeys, the monkeys will choose the bananas. Why? Because monkeys do not know that money can buy many more bananas. In our world, the banana is the salary. It is the immediate, guaranteed paycheck. Ordinary people choose the salary because they are afraid of the unknown. They want to know exactly how much they will have at the end of the month. They prioritize security over freedom. Rich people, however, are willing to walk away from the banana to build a plantation. They are willing to work for months or even years without a paycheck if it means they will eventually own the entire system. Jack Ma also noted that poor people fail because of one common behavior. Their whole life is spent waiting. They wait for the perfect time. They wait for the government to change. They wait for a lucky break. Rich people do not wait. They create. They understand that the perfect time is a myth. If you want to learn how to think like the rich, you have to stop looking for a safe harbor and start learning how to navigate the storm. For the ordinary person, failure is the end of the road. It is something to be ashamed of. They stay in jobs they hate because they are terrified of what people will say if their business fails. But for people like Elon Musk, failure is an essential part of the process. Musk once said that failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. Think about the early days of SpaceX. His first 3 rockets exploded. He was down to his last millions of dollars. Most people would have quit and saved what was left to live a quiet life. But Musk doubled down. He did not see those explosions as a sign to stop. He saw them as data points. The wealthy mindset views failure as a tuition fee. Every time they lose money or a project fails, They believe they have purchased a very expensive lesson that will make them millions in the future. Ordinary people try to avoid pain, so they avoid risk. Rich people embrace the pain because they know it is the only way to grow. They do not see themselves as victims of bad luck. They see themselves as students of the market. Ordinary people are professional consumers. They spend their weekends walking through malls and their nights scrolling through shopping apps. They are always thinking about what they can buy next. They focus on how to spend the money they have not even earned yet. Rich people are professional producers. When a rich person sees a new product or a viral app, they do not just ask if they should buy it. They ask how it was made, how it is marketed, and how they can create something similar or better. They look at the world as a place to provide value. Money is simply a measurement of the value you provide to others. If you solve a problem for one person, you get a little money. If you solve a problem for 1 billion people, like Elon Musk or Bill Gates, you get $1 billion. Ordinary people ask for a raise. Rich people ask how they can serve more people. The shift from "what can I get" to "what can I give" is the most powerful change you can make. When you focus on creating value, money becomes a byproduct that you no longer have to chase. There is a famous rule that says you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Ordinary people often hang out with people who complain. They talk about the weather, the news, and other people. They bond over their shared struggles and their mutual dislike of their bosses. Rich people are extremely careful about who they let into their lives. They seek out mentors and peers who are more successful than they are. They want to be the dumbest person in the room because that means they are in the right room to learn. Wealthy people do not see other successful people as competition. They see them as proof of what is possible. While ordinary people are often jealous of success, rich people are inspired by it. They understand that your network is your net worth. They build relationships based on growth and ideas. They do not have time for gossip or negativity because they are too busy discussing the future. If everyone around you thinks money is the root of all evil, you will subconsciously push money away. But if everyone around you treats money as a tool for good, you will naturally find ways to attract it. The ordinary mindset wants results now. They want the get-rich-quick scheme. They want the lottery ticket. If an investment does not double in a week, they think it is a scam and they quit. This lack of patience is why most people stay poor. Warren Buffett has lived in the same modest house for decades. Over 90% of his wealth was actually made after his 50th birthday. He understands the magic of compounding. Compounding requires 2 things: money and time. Rich people plant seeds today so they can sit in the shade of a tree 10 years from now. They do not dig up the seed every morning to see if it has sprouted. Ordinary people spend their seed money on things that impress people they do not even like. They eat their seeds and then wonder why they have no harvest. To think like the rich, you have to master your impulses. You have to be okay with being misunderstood by people who are still chasing short-term pleasures. True wealth is built in the dark, through quiet discipline and long-term vision. At the end of the day, money is just a tool. It is like fire. It can cook your food and keep you warm, or it can burn your house down. It all depends on who is holding the match. Rich people understand that money is a resource that gives them the freedom to live life on their own terms. It gives them the ability to help others, to solve problems, and to leave a legacy. The ordinary mindset sees money as a source of stress and fear. But that fear is only there because of the way you have been programmed to think. You can choose to break that program today. You can choose to stop being a consumer and start being a producer. You can choose to stop trading your time for money and start building assets. I hope this journey into the mind of the wealthy has opened your eyes to what is truly possible. If you are ready to stop just surviving and start truly thriving, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are building a community of people who are dedicated to mastering their minds and their finances. Leave a comment below telling us which of these mindset shifts was the most eye-opening for you. This has been a presentation by Mindful Thrive Ledger. Remember, your wealth starts in your mind before it ever reaches your bank account. I will see you in the next story.